Hey there, Luma. This stitch here, this is the Roman stitch pattern, and it is not reversible, but you do get this very interesting lines that are created by your second stitch that you will learn, which is the slip with yarn in front, to create this really awesome texture, these awesome loops that look so beautiful. You are going to do this using two stitches, two pegs at a time. So all you're going to do is just repeat those two stitches for the width that you want. And personally, I have edges, a two stitch edge at the beginning and the end. They are not part of the pattern, but let me tell you, because you guys always ask me, I'm doing two knit stitches, and the knit stitch that we're using is the U-wrap version of the knit stitch. All right, let's start with row one. Super easy. You're going to start with a purl one. So take your yarn under the existing loop, scoop up to create a new one, take the existing loop off the peg, and put that new loop on. Now tighten, and there you go. That's your purl one. Now we're going to do a slip with yarn in front. So under the existing loop, just like before, create a new loop, but this time take it behind the peg and then pull, and that's going to drop that loop to the bottom, which lands in front of the fabric. Again, we're going to repeat purl one. So scoop up, create a new loop, take the old one off, put the new loop on, and pull to tighten. Now slip with yarn in front. You're going to scoop up from the bottom to create a new loop, and then just take it behind the peg and pull on the yarn to drop that stitch under the peg but in front of the fabric. And then, like I said, you're just repeating it to create these loops right here, these bottom loops. All right, that's row one. And just keep going. The more of these two stitches that you knit, the wider your fabric, right? So if you want something very narrow, only do a few of them. If you want something super wide, just keep going. And then at the end, again, like I said, I had those two knit stitches. So now let's do row two. And for row two, we're doing a purl one, knit one, basically a rib stitch. You guys already know how to do the purl one, right? You're going to take your yarn, put it under the existing, create a new one, knit off, right? For the knit stitch, we're using the U-wrap. And then for rows 3 to 6, all you're doing is knitting the row. So it doesn't matter how many pegs you decided to have for your particular project, rows 3 through 6, right? So row 3, row 4, row 5, row 6, you're just knitting across the board. And again, I'm using the U-wrap. You can use the flat or whatever version you would like. For row 7, we're going to start with the slip. So scoop up, create a loop, take it behind the peg and pull, and it will drop to the bottom and land in the front, and then purl one. That is row 7, right? One more time. For those in the back of the room, you're going to take your working yarn, put it under the existing loop, scoop up, create a new one, put it behind. Okay, and then just keep going and then knit one. Now for row 8, you're going to do again a rib stitch, but this time you're doing a knit one, purl one. Row 8, knit one, purl one for the width of your project. You just keep going. And then for row 12, like before, you're going to knit the row. So row 9, row 10, row 11, row 12. You don't have to do anything but knit. And here I'm using the flat version of the knit stitch. The U-wrap is fine. The E-wrap is going to look a little different. But if you want mine, you do it just like this. And that's what you get, that awesome fabric.